Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, PrincetonTrader.com, here with your Thursday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, S&P 500, E-mini futures daily chart, and what we're seeing is a couple things. We've been talking the last few days about whether this was going to be just a pause on the way to new highs or a pullback. Well, it turns out after 4 days of nonsense, it was just a pause. We were in tight ranges here. It was all centered around 2155. The Bears had a chance Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to deal with the key 47-48 area, to break the weekly pivot and try to get down into some of the for lack of a better word, open space on this chart. They weren't able to do it. And if you miss those opportunities enough, the dip buyers, the bulls, are going to make you pay, and they're going to push you out of whatever range you're in and go see new highs. And that's what happened yesterday. We did marginal higher high overnight, and the high of the moment is 2170.25. So let me show you what I'm talking about, because it's going to be important. Until the Bears can win what I'm about to show you, we're going to continue to go higher, grind, go higher, grind, go higher. The Bears are going to have to, they're going to have to win one of these, and their next opportunity is going to be early next week. Okay, so here's a 15-minute chart. And let me back out once. Okay? So here's your Thursday all-time high. Friday you do a lower high. Reaction low to turkey. Another lower high. Another lower high. And then you've got the weekly pivot coming in at 2147.80. And you've got S2 above it on Tuesday, below it on Wednesday. So you've got a support area here, at least an area that needs to be tested, and an area where, unless it's broken, the Bears aren't really part of the conversation. Okay? We push down, we don't test. That's Monday. We push down, we don't test. That's Tuesday. Typically in situations where the Bears are going to take control of the tape, it happens in the first part of the week. It didn't. And so here we are. The entire day on Tuesday and the most important parts of Monday centered around 2155. During the overnight, you saw 2155 go support. That was the first tell for the dip buyers that they were going to be okay. They ramp it higher. Now, they tried to do the double top thing versus the Thursday high. They pull it back, and right here off the open, 9:45 or so, here's your dip buy, new highs, and then another sloppy afternoon. But this is what happens when you fail to test the weekly pivot once, twice, 3 times. By the time you get to the middle of the week, you run out of chances. It's all clear for the dip buyers, and you go. Okay. What we've seen in the overnight is you've seen a push to a marginal higher high. You've seen that come back in a little bit. And what we're seeing right now is an attempt to hold the daily pivot as a higher low versus 62.75. So as we head into today, the key for the Bears is going to be to try to establish some kind of a foothold at whatever the high is going to be when we open. Now, by the time we open for the regular session, Draghi will have already had his press conference. The ECB will have had their rate announcement. Draghi's going to matter because of all the stuff that's going on. This is a euro zone driven market right now. Has been since Brexit. That's why there's nothing happening in our RTH, and there's plenty happening at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay? So Draghi's going to matter. You have to stay on your toes. Okay? Be smart. Use risk. Be mindful of your risk. Use risk markers. Use stops. It's a very difficult tape to trade. And it's a very difficult tape to trade for everybody out there. Don't get discouraged. It's been a very difficult tape for me to trade. I'm not one of these people that pretends they have it figured out all the time. Anybody that's followed me for any length of time knows that. And this has been a tough tape to trade. There's not a lot going on in RTH. What is going on is choppy. We're sitting at all-time highs, which always makes it hard. And you have two sides during RTH that really can't put the other away. Now, that was a little bit more prevalent yesterday. Yesterday we had a dip buy that ran to new highs. So I'm not as critical of the tape yesterday as I am at the tape on Monday and Tuesday, which was basically, Tuesday was barely tradable at all. Monday was a little bit, it was still really bad. This whip chop, unless you're a scalper, okay? And most people aren't. So just be aware that we may have another RTH regular trading session that doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. You can't get behind the bears until you start seeing some lower highs that are working. You can't really get behind the bears with any conviction until they break the weekly pivot. Well, they're not going to break this weekly pivot unless we get some news that's unforeseen. So you start to look toward next week. But I wanted to walk through this dynamic with you because this dynamic is the dynamic that the bears have to be victorious in order for this market to get any significant pullback on a daily chart. All right. Everybody have a fantastic day. Follow us at Twitter at Princeton Trader. Check out the website, princetontrader.com. Come check out the chat room. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another webcast. Trade 'em well, everybody.